Good morning, on location from our mobile showroom just south of Denver, Colorado. My name's Theo Stephens. I'm the owner and founder of Brighter Basements and Idea Egress. So we're here to talk about our egress windows. Brighter Basements is an installation company that installs these egress windows that we sell up and down the Front Range. Idea Egress is the company that sells the kits that we manufacture, and they go around the country. Idea Egress Window Kit is a revolutionary way to install egress windows that is designed to save you time and money. It's ideal for DIY homeowners, engineers, or concrete cutters. Let's just jump right in. We're at the back of our mobile showroom, and we built this showroom to highlight the differences between the conventional way of installing egress windows and the way that we install them here along the Front Range. So as you can see on the display, this is the older way of installing an egress window, and this is the way we install egress windows with our kits. So let's start with the old one, with the conventional way first. So assuming that this is the concrete wall, and normally what you would do is you would frame out your opening with 2x6s or 2x8s, pressure treated of course. So you've got 4 pieces of wood there, and then you would come back, set the window, and then you would put your 4 pieces of trim on the top of that. And then you would come back and you would caulk your window in here, and you would caulk your window in here. So you can see what you have here. Egress windows just have different challenges than other windows. Egress windows are usually mounted into concrete or a masonry structure, not into framing. And then in addition to that, that egress window is exposed to extreme temperature differentials. It's underground, it's exposed to moisture. You've just got all these elements. And how well this system right here works just depends on the performance of the caulk. When you keep in mind what you've got here, you've got 3 different substrates. You've got vinyl, you've got wood, and you've got concrete, all 3 with different expansion and contraction characteristics. So that was a major driver and something that always bothered me about installing egress windows. I'm like, what a maintenance nightmare. The caulk lines are going to have to be at some point in time redone, and unfortunately you're not going to find out until water is seeped in, and when the water seeps in, it might not even be visible. It might have a slow leak for over a period of time, and then you get an accumulation of mold. I knew there had to be a better way, and that's why I came up with this. So let me tell you how we dealt with the caulk problem and what we did to mitigate for that. I've got a little tube of caulk here just to illustrate. So under the conventional way of doing an egress window, you would need to caulk around the framing lumber on the inside and on the outside. You would put the trim, you would caulk the inside of the trim, you would caulk the inside of the trim, and you got to get down low. Now remember, you're in a 5-foot hole, and you've got to caulk under here. I'm going to show you now a much easier way. Since we manufacture our own windows here and we can accessorize them however we'd like, I'm going to show you a piece of a window frame with a front-facing flange on it. So I've separated this for illustrative purposes, but this is a frame without a nailing flange or a flange on it. We simply snap this flange on before we weld the window. You simply back caulk the flange here and put it over the steel frame, and you're done. And now you've compressed the caulk from the back side of the member, therefore making a much better seal. So now it's obvious to see which system has more points of failure, this one or this one. Let's talk about how we seal the ExoFrame to the concrete wall. The way we do that is with a gasket. So this gasket, which is automotive windshield gasket, goes behind the steel frame. When the steel frame is fastened to the wall, it compresses the gasket and makes a tight seal. So here's a really good looking finished product versus 8 pieces of wood glued and screwed together. Keep in mind, this system now has to be painted and primed. First, let's get the ExoFrame installed. Make sure the wall is clean and smooth so that the gasket seals well. The window is accessorized to integrate into the frame, seamlessly seal, and attach to the wall via the pass-through straps. This accessorization is the secret sauce for a maintenance-free system. Next step is to attach the fastening straps. These fastening straps are ingenious. They're fully adjustable around the perimeter of the window frame and allow you to install the window without removing the shipping blocks. This ensures that the window stays square during the installation process. Next is the application of the caulk. So here's where the clear caulk would go, all the way around the perimeter of the window. And now it's just time to set the window into the ExoFrame. Okay, let's put the trim box in place, but first I want you to notice a couple of things. One, the fastening straps for the window are already in place. Obviously you would be fastening into concrete or block, whatever your installation calls for. The next thing to make note of is the ExoFrame here sticks out past the window a little more than an inch, and that serves as a nice resting place for the bottom side of, or the bottom of the trim box. Now the trim box that I'm getting ready to install is pre-primed, it's optional. It's made on a CNC machine out of very high quality MDF. So I'm going to slip the trim box into place right now. Bingo. Let's talk about windows for a sec. Tilt and turn windows are so cool. When it comes to egress, this is absolutely the way to go. And when you're buying your tilt and turn window, make sure you're buying windows that are made from PVC that are formulated for the North American climate. The import jobs from Europe, the PVC is not designed to hold up to our UV in North America. So first, let's go to the tilt position of the window. There you go. So this is just so cool. It deflects water. It allows only the hottest air in their room to escape, and it's secure. At my house in the wintertime, I leave this window open almost all the time. It ever so slightly ventilates. So now we're going to go to the swing in position. You can escape, you can clean, do whatever you want. Now, if this were an outswing window, in the window well we're here, you'd be precluded from opening the window. So, like I said, tilt and turn windows for egress, absolute no-brainer. Okay, let's talk about the fun stuff now, the structural benefits of the ExoFrame. To my left is kind of an old school way of structurally reinforcing an opening that you might want to egress with. You can see there's a strap across the bottom that keeps the cut from cracking or splaying. Then, if necessary, you would have to install a piece of angle iron up top. So let's talk about this piece specifically. When you install this piece of angle iron, the screws that fasten it to the concrete have to be 3.5 inches below the top of the stem wall. So what that results in is lowering the window in the opening, which results in less light. The other real problem with that is, let's say your basement's already finished, and let's just say this represents one of your finished studs, okay? Since this has got to go, I think, 8 inches past the opening, you've now got to tear out your basement framing to make room for your structural steel. Then you got to frame around it, and then you got to figure out how you're going to integrate your trim around the structural steel. So now we're going to switch to the benefits of the ExoFrame on the display on the other side. I don't know your situation, but let's just say you have a cast-in-place buck. They're usually 30.5 inches wide. If you use the ExoFrame, it fits. It goes right in between the 30.5 inch buck. You leave it in place. That means way less concrete cutting. Let's just say that you need to modify the ExoFrame, and that's an option. And that's what this piece is supposed to be right here. So you can see if we need to extend the ExoFrame for you based on what your engineer requires, we can do that. We welded here, gusset it here. This could be used to catch a second width of brick, or a third width of brick, or a recessed floor joist. Now, let's say you need all the structural support, we've put it in from the outside, and your basement's finished on the inside. So this is intended to replicate a finished wall. So if you do have 30.5 inch window, then you just simply cut back to your stud and slide the ExoFrame in from the outside. No reason to tear out your existing drywall and your studs. So that means less mess, less refinishing. And in our case, when we install here, we don't even have any paint touch-up to do because we surgically cut back the drywall and the 2x4s. Let's talk about window wells just for a sec. Obviously you can see that we have two different color window wells, a white and a galvanized. Make note of this interior flange right here, this flange that's facing to the inside. This is such a big deal. It will make your life so much easier. Huge time saver. Instead of over excavating 2 feet to get a man down there, you only have to over excavate a few inches when you install one of these wells, and then you can just get down and fasten it from the inside. Obviously less excavation, that means less backfill. Less backfill means less tamping means less risk of settling, and less settling means less risk of potential water problems seeping down the soil where it's gone down. This Bright Idea kit is an innovative, high-quality solution to installing an egress window. Maybe you're a homeowner, maybe you're a contractor or an engineer or a concrete cutter. You might be looking to add something to your quiver of services that you're wanting to offer your customers. This kit is a streamlined, engineered solution that's designed to save you time and money, and you're going to love it.